And we're joined right now for virtual coffee hours by Representative Julie Alexander. And Representative, I know you welcome this type of opportunity. You've had many coffee hours, office hours over the years. So much of your job, after all, involves listening to the people you represent.
Absolutely. And thank you, John. Thank you for you and your staff for making this available for the constituents of the 64th District and all around Michigan. These are challenging times, and we have a lot of questions, especially in regard to COVID and the vaccinations, the rollout plan, what's happening in Lansing. And I'm excited to be here today to take this opportunity to reconnect with those that I have not seen in a long time. So as many of you know, this is my third term in the State House. So for the last 4 years, minus that COVID period, I have been busy meeting with individuals on a weekly basis, every 2 weeks, meeting, having office hours, and making myself accessible. So this is just a new way and opportunity to use this technology to allow those that have questions for me personally to send them my way. And in addition to that, I truly value educating others. And there's so many questions in regard to the vaccine right now. I am so excited to have Jackson County Health Officer Rashmi Travis joining us as well to share with us her information, insight on the vaccine as it pertains specifically to Jackson County. So thank you to the listeners for joining in today as well.
And of course, the focus today, a lot of what we will be talking about is on COVID. Just last week, we saw the passage of a COVID package in the Michigan House. Some controversy about that. Could you tell us a little bit about what that package entails?
Sure. Thank you for that question, John. So it was a $3.5 billion budget plan coming from the House. So what happens in Lansing is the House reflects on where their priorities are. We had a strong focus on helping working families with everything from SNAP benefits, unemployment benefits, meals for seniors, and rent and utility relief. We also did a considerable amount. The allocations were there for helping job providers, $415 million to help our restaurants and local businesses get back on their feet. Also some relief from certain taxes and fees that small business owners are having to pay, especially in the times when they weren't even allowed to be open and having to pay some of these registration fees. So we took that into consideration. Another piece of our package was had to do with education, getting the kids back to school, but not even getting them back to school, also focusing on that lapse, that the time frame that they have been either learning from home or not learning to the extent that they should have been. What are we going to do to make up that academic loss, that gap? We need to reflect on that and also reflect on the increased costs that our schools have. And then finally, and importantly, fighting the virus. $22 million was spent towards a faster rollout of the vaccination program with $144 million on COVID testing. So that was the House plan. The Senate now is working through the process and introduced their package. The governor, of course, has her plans, and now is when all the fun begins. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the governor, and we must sit down and come to an agreement on how those dollars will be spent.
And what we are talking about here, because there has been some confusion, with the House plan, there will be immediate relief in the areas that you've been talking about.
Absolutely. And what we hear is those dollars are available. We are not withholding any dollars. We are ready to get them out in our local communities where they're needed. The people need this help, and these flow-through dollars coming from the federal government are there to help the families. We will demand accountability. We are not about to write any blank checks for this governor, this administration. We need to hold the governor's team accountable. We need to hold all the departments accountable. But in doing so, we know we can do it in an effective and efficient manner, and we're looking forward to making that happen.